All right, hello and welcome. So, if you're a student teacher or maybe you're just starting out in a PYP school, you've probably realized that the whole planning process can feel, well, like a giant, complicated puzzle. But seriously, don't worry. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and demystify the whole thing. We'll see exactly how a school's big, beautiful vision for learning actually translates into what you do in the classroom every single day.
So here's our game plan. We're going to go on a little journey, kind of zooming in and zooming out. We'll start with the 30,000-foot view, the school's master plan. Then we'll zoom right into your grade level, and then, even further, down to the nuts and bolts of a single unit of inquiry. We'll also take a special look at how things are a bit different for our youngest learners. And finally, we'll zoom all the way back out to see how this all comes together to create a curriculum that's truly alive.
You know, this is really the big question, isn't it? How on earth do you create a learning journey that feels connected and meaningful for a kid, all the way from age 3 to age 12? It seems like a huge task. Well, the answer is found in the PYP's really smart approach to planning, one that's super structured, but at the same time incredibly flexible.
Okay, first up, the master plan. To really get PYP planning, you have to start here, with the big picture. Every single thing that happens in the classroom, every inquiry, it all connects back to one single, super important, whole school document.
And this is it, the program of inquiry, or what you'll hear everyone call the POI. The best way to think about it is like the architectural blueprint for learning at your school. It's a giant map that lays out every single unit of inquiry for every grade for the entire school year. This is the master plan that makes sure every student gets a balanced and connected experience from start to finish.
But here's what's so cool about it. The POI isn't some rigid document handed down from on high. Nope, it's actually built by the teachers in each school so it reflects their unique community and students. And while it's organized around those 6 big global themes, it's designed to be a living, breathing document. It's planned, for sure, but it's also got room to grow and change based on what's happening in the world or even right there in your classroom. All right, let's zoom in a level. We're moving from the whole school blueprint to your neighborhood, your grade level. For most of you, this is where you'll get your first real, hands-on experience designing curriculum.
Now this is so important to get. In the PYP, you are not just delivering a script that someone else wrote. You, along with your grade level team, are the authors. You are crafting the learning experiences for your kids. It's this amazing, collaborative process where you decide how you're going to bring your little piece of the POI to life.
So, as you and your team map out the year, you're kind of like master weavers. You're constantly checking for balance, making sure you're pulling in all these different threads. Across your units, you got to make sure you hit all 6 themes, you explore all 7 key concepts, and you're purposefully teaching those skills and attributes. It's this careful, deliberate planning that ensures kids get that rich, well-rounded education.
Okay, let's zoom in one last time. We're going down to the microscopic level now, to the fundamental building block of that entire POI, the unit of inquiry. If you're going to be a PYP teacher, you have to know what makes one of these tick.
Everything, and I mean everything, in a unit is anchored by the central idea. Now, this is not just a topic like dinosaurs. It's a bigger, more transferable concept. Something like extinction cycles create opportunities for new life. See the difference? It's broad, it's open for debate, and it's important anywhere in the world. This is the conceptual heart of every single unit.
So how do you tackle such a big idea? Well, that's where the lines of inquiry come in. Think of these as the main highways that guide the exploration. They break that big central idea down into smaller, more manageable chunks. They give the inquiry focus and direction, and they're the pathways your students will travel down to build their understanding. And what lenses do we use to explore all this? That's where the concepts come in. The PYP has 7 key concepts. You've probably heard of them: form, function, causation, perspective, and so on. Think of them like different pairs of glasses. They help students see the world in new ways, move beyond just memorizing facts, and start asking those deeper questions that let them transfer their learning everywhere.
Now, this kind of teaching requires a pretty big mental shift, especially for our amazing specialist teachers. We're moving away from teaching art or music in a silo. Instead, art and music become powerful tools to explore the central idea. It means every teacher, whether they teach PE or the home language, approaches the unit as a generalist first, and then brings their special expertise to the table to enrich the inquiry for everyone.
And that philosophical shift has real-world consequences, right down to the school's daily schedule. The goal is to move away from a timetable that's just a rigid list of subjects. Instead, the schedule itself needs to become more flexible. The inquiry should drive the schedule, not the other way around. This allows for those deep dive investigations and project work to happen when it makes the most sense for the students.
Okay, let's switch gears for a second and talk about our youngest learners, the 3 to 6-year-olds. The core philosophy of inquiry is exactly the same, but the actual planning requirements are intentionally different. And for a very good reason. It's all about what's best for their development.
This chart breaks it down really nicely. For the early years, the minimum is just 4 units a year, not 6. And you absolutely have to include who we are and how we express ourselves every year. That just makes sense for this age, right? They're figuring out who they are. And there's more flexibility. You don't have to cram all 6 themes into 1 year. You can explore them over the entire early years phase.
So, after all that, if you remember just one number for early years planning, make it this one: 4. A minimum of 4 units. Why? Well, it's not about doing less work. It's about creating more space, more time for play, more time to follow those wonderful spontaneous questions the kids come up with, and more time for a deeper, unhurried exploration. And this quote just nails the philosophy behind that flexibility. It reminds us that young kids are already natural-born inquirers. Our job isn't to force it on them. Our job is to build a curriculum that honors their innate drive to explore through play and to make sense of the world around them.
Okay, so we've seen the big picture, the yearly plan and the individual units. Let's zoom back out again, because that big, beautiful program of inquiry, it's not a document that you write once and then it gets laminated and stuck on a wall. It's more like a garden that needs constant tending. It's a living curriculum. And that tending isn't just a nice idea, it's a requirement. Every single PYP school has to review and refine its program of inquiry every year. But trust me, this isn't about just ticking a box for the IB. It's an incredibly powerful, collaborative process that keeps the curriculum fresh, relevant, and effective for the actual kids sitting in your classrooms right now.
And the whole staff gets involved. You'll all get together to talk about what worked and what didn't in each unit. You'll check for that horizontal and vertical balance across the whole school. And most importantly, you'll ask, where can we give our students even more voice and choice? Then, based on everybody's reflections, you tweak and refine the POI for the year to come.
So what does this all mean for you? It means your role is so much bigger than just teacher. You are a curriculum designer. You get to author units, plan with your team, bring your unique expertise to the table, and your reflections actually matter in the annual review. You are an active participant in shaping your school's story.
I just love this quote because it captures the beautiful paradox of PYP planning. It's got a solid, well-thought-out structure to make sure everything is coherent and balanced. But within that plan, it's also dynamic, it's flexible, and it has the space it needs for real, authentic inquiry to spark and come alive.
So look, if you take one thing away today, let it be this. In a PYP school, the curriculum isn't a static product you're handed. It is a dynamic process that you are a vital part of. It's something you build, you reflect on, and you refine together as a community. So the only question left is, what unique passion, what brilliant idea, what new perspective are you going to bring to the table? What will your contribution be?